Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you very much to VFRL for the invitation. So the idea in this slot is to discuss a bit how to leverage data and to leverage AI for us to make actionable insights in our businesses. And just some quick measures on what is seen as the great value that AI can bring to our businesses. Just small facts. That is, nowadays, 60% of all jobs are recognized with having around 30% of activities that could be leveraged through AI. Most, going in depth in this, 67% of the time of everything that we do, typically in our jobs, could be using AI to automate it, to facilitate what we do. Another important fact, in the US, this is data from IDC, $2.7 trillion of dollars can be used to account what can be done in terms of the effort of automating tasks nowadays. On the other part, 95% of companies report that they consider that AI is important. 80% report that they are already doing something in AI, and 81% estimate that they can leverage some ROI in less than 2 years. So what can we think of important questions that are in the step for us to take value of AI? In some points, and you may recognize this in your own companies, it's what kind of data do we really have? Do we always have to do custom developments? So when I want to take leverage of data, everything needs to be customized. How can we really be able to also, and a big problem nowadays, how can we attract people to work on data? How can we retain talent on people to work on these themes? Also, and in the time of more of the board level, concerns of the board level, how can we reduce time to market using AI? It's really profitable. Do we have really a business case to do this? Or can we use already, not inventing the wheel, but using solutions that already have proven value for these topics of AI? So how can we really take out value from all of these investments? And so what are really the companies doing with AI nowadays? So what are the most common problems that we had to solve with AI? And one issue, or 60% of the companies say that they see AI on the topic of knowledge mining. So getting deep into our processes and trying to find answers using data. 30% say that they see the value of AI in terms of what we say that is conversational AI. So we know that we typically have problems regarding what is let's say it, the dimension of our contact centers. How can we leverage AI to make this more automatable? 46%, and it's a pain, and probably you recognize in most of the companies, we still do a lot of processing based on paper. So a lot of forms that we need to use and to consume time, typically, to our workforce to identify the data that is on these forms. So how can we use AI to do this? Machine translation, so it's a very also common topic. It's how can I work multi-language? How can I do automatic translation of my content to several languages? How can I do it? For technical industries, this is a big issue. And on the other side, and related with the conversational AI, the last topic, 64%, that is, how can I be more efficient when I'm dealing with my customers to capture what they are saying, for example, in my contact center to my phone line, to capture what they are saying, to transcript it automatically, to text, to analyze it, to understand what is the feeling that the customer has, to make me action more fast according what they are explaining to me. But we have really, and these are some issues who have problems tackling this. So We predict that AI will be a big push in the next years, more than 500 million applications based on using data and leveraging to do services to people. It's estimated that will be made in the next 5 years, but we have a problem. We have a scarce of talent. So we estimate more than 1 million the lack of developer shortfall that we have, and 86% of the companies struggle for several reasons, for the lack of talent, for the conditions in terms of pay grade for these talent, but they struggle to find talent. So how can we try to modernize it, knowing that we have these pitfalls? So we can go to one strategy: teach everyone that we have to code. So make everyone a data engineer, a data scientist. But this is very difficult. So what is the effort that we see in the future is not to turn everyone in a developer, but turn everyone in a low-code developer, let's say, by leveraging what is the low-code tools that now allow us to work data, and also to use commodity AI that is already developed. So standard AI services that can be infused in my processes, in my company, and don't make me the burden of having to develop everything custom by my own people, okay? And that will have another set of benefits, for example. So today, for example, a hot topic is responsible AI. And when I use already made AI services, the theme about responsible AI somehow is facilitated because I'm using data that was certified, that was trained with ethical principles by other companies with more data, with specialized workforce to deal with it. So if we look at a complete scope of data solutions, this is traditional, what you can see on the let's say it, on the services that each major vendor has it, and Microsoft is the standard set for working data that goes to operational databases, that go data warehouses, that go to data lake and analytics. What we are saying is that there is a completely new set of technologies. When I'm saying new, this already has some time, but let's say it's the new wave in the industry, is that I can have and make available AI at 3 levels. At the usual level that we had about code, so we are talking about the Azure machine learning that you can see below, but we are developing services that stand more for what we call a citizen developer. That is for the business units, for people that are not specialized on the AI. They don't work taught in specific code for AI, but can be leveraged in terms of pre-made services. And this is where we have cognitive services. So cognitive services are already developed services that can be infused through the call, for example, of APIs, and that facilitates the usage of AI in organizations. On top of that, it's what we call AI services that have the code, let's say, to do AI, but are, let's call it mini apps that do a set of processing regarding those. For example, when we are talking about the forms recognition, we are talking about bot services that don't need the customer to develop from scratch, but can be used as an asset to accelerate my developments. That is what we pursue. Just to give some examples, for example, when we are talking about Azure AI, and talking about the advantages again, we don't need a specialized data scientist. We can automate it because we can infuse these processes in our applications, okay? And this can be done in a quite facilitated fashion. For example, who uses and who knows the Power Apps and Power Automate. I can leverage these services like I'm in my common IDE and I integrate it with Power Automate. I can use these services also to infuse AI in my code. And for me, it's transparent, okay? Because I'm using a service, it uses an input, it calculates an output, and I can develop my business process like this. An example where this can be useful, like I said, in working with paper, with collecting data from paper, these kind of services like Forms Recognizer allows me to use, for example, a sheet of paper and to automatically recognize where the text is and capturing it through my web server, to my app, etc., to recognize the streams of text that exists. It already has also a set of standard modules that it can recognize, that is prepared to work. And he is very good also to capturing forms. That is, I can look at my form that I use in my company. I can point it and say, okay, this field is the name of my customer. This field are the invoices. These are the lines. And he facilitates, he tries to guess some of these fields, and he can automate it, the extraction of data from these fields. With another pretty good advantage, that is, it doesn't capture it as text, it can capture it as a structured output, okay? So with tags, that makes my processing after very automatable. So he has some features like automatic recognizing checkboxes, like extracting from tables of several lines, supporting multiple layouts with the same model. So I define a model that in some zone of my document I have this header with the customer name. In this, I had a table with what will be invoices line, and he extrapolates this model to different forms. Okay, so I can have different forms. I will give an example that was used. It is a true customer experience. For example, during COVID, a customer need to process all the clinical analysis of his employees that came from the lab saying positive test, negative test, and this traditionally was something that it came the PDFs, some employee in HR look at the PDFs, look at the input. If it's a negative test, it's okay, it will send an email to my customer to say it's okay, you are allowed to come to work. If it's a positive test, it will send an email to business unit saying, okay, this employee will need to stay at home during the quarantine period. And this, for example, with the intelligent document processing, was possible to automate this through a Power App. So they did a Power App. This Power App went to the email. It looked to the emails with a certain subject. It processed the PDFs with the results. It looked to the field of each form, and each company that each lab has its own form. But it was trying to look at different forms because they are different in layouts, but they are quite similar. It looked, it identified where is the result, and if it's positive, it will send an email with certain templates. It only vary the name of the employee. If it was a negative result, it will send another one, but this is completely automatized. So this is a perfect example for this kind of workflow. So this is using AI in the terms that is learning to recognize the templates and identifying information, but it didn't need to be developed from scratch from my data scientist. I bring you also another example that is very common nowadays. That is the problem of trying to leverage also AI in customer service, so in our contact center, for example. And I give you here 3 use cases. So one use case is really trying to, when a contact center agent is talking to my customer, trying to capture what he's saying, at the same time he's trying to point everything that the customer is saying in the system, the best he can, also trying to categorize what kind of feeling that he has. So this is one point. The another one very related also with this is trying to get analytics from the call. How many times did the customer spend talking? How many minutes did the agent talk? How many was the total length of the conversation? It was more than the average that the agent used to do this kind of work. It was less. Also to take metrics and to understand if the work is done properly. Another process is the customer virtual agent, so trying to get the best routing in trying to capture what the customer is, what is the subject, and trying to get the best to the best agent. Okay, trying to automatize this flow, namely with bots. And the third point is really to try to assist the agent. So provide them context information that if a customer is talking about a problem in their TV to point out a set of informed actions regarding what can be done, so some diagnostics, if you can disconnect some device, etc. So AI, for example, in customer service, and there are many more, but these are 3 pain points that can be leveraged. For example, there are some, let's say, cognitive services, so pre-made AI that can be used to speed up this without doing code. Namely, to make this concrete, speed to text. That is, so the ability of when I'm receiving a call to automatically trying to capture the speech and translate it to text. Okay, text to speech, so the reverse also. That is, if I want to, when we are using a chatbot, if I'm thinking on automating my contact centers and provide some set of responses of some set of processes to a bot, also trying to use recommendations that are written in text and synthesize it to human voice. Speaker recognition, so this is also a hot topic nowadays. How can I recognize my speaker through my contact center also? And speech translation. In the case that something that I am producing, I can produce it, detect the language of my customer, for example, if I have a multinational, or if my contact center can attend in several languages. So doing language recognition, process the text that I want to say, and then do the text-to-speech translation also. And now I can just an example for you to see.
Help you today.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm pretty frustrated. I have received 3 calls so far from customer first asking for a payment, and I keep telling this machine that I've already sent a payment.
I'm sorry to hear that, Ms. Garcia. Let me take a look and take care of this for you. First, I would need to ask you a few questions to verify your identity. May I have the last 4 of your social security number and your mailing address?
Yes, it's 1234, and my address is 123 Main Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, great. Before we continue, I just need to let you know that this call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes. So thank you for the verification. It appears that you have an unpaid balance of $300 based on your last 2 statements, and we haven't received any payment since 2 statements ago.
That's ridiculous. I sent a check last month. I want to speak to your supervisor.
I can understand how frustrating this is. It would appear that we did not receive the check, but I'm sure I can help resolve this issue for you.
Well, it appears I'm getting charged a late fee as well. Can I get a refund on that too?
Let me see here. If we can get a payment today, then because of your loyalty, and this is the first time this has happened on your account, we can definitely get that charge reversed.
Well, that's good.
Definitely. Now, can I take your payment over the phone to get your account current? Do you have your bank account information so I can take that now?
Sure. What do you need?
I will need your bank routing number and your account number.
Yes. My routing number is 1234, and the account number is 5678.
And can I set that payment for today for $300?
Yes.
Excellent. Let me go ahead and process that. Okay, I've confirmed the payment. Would you like the confirmation number?
Sure.
Great. The confirmation number is 1457. And so I just want to let you know that I'm going to send an email to you about how you can make a payment online in the future. This will allow you to verify that we received it right away, and it will save you some money on the stamp.
Great. Thank you for that.
So to recap, I was able to process your payment, and you'll be getting a credit for the late fee. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that was all I needed. I really appreciate your help today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for calling Customer First. I hope you have a great day.
So what have we seen here that seems quite basic but is very complex from a technical standpoint? Is that we were able to capture the speech to text but not in a normal way that is in differentiated text, but it with the aerization that is separating in the same voice channel, for example, what is the customer from what is the agent. And this allow us to analyze each string of text individually. So I can monitor what the customer is saying. I can do sentiment analysis. I can understand if he's furious or if it's more happy. I can also understand keywords. I can extract knowledge mining. I can extract keywords and understand what is the subject that is addressing. With the subject that is addressing, I can understand if flowing to my facts or using my APIs, I can provide what is next best action to suggest facing on what he's saying. I'm providing visually for the agent by a set of colors. If it's an error, if it's something bad, if it's something positive regarding, I'm seeing the reaction of what I'm saying or the action that I'm suggesting, if it's valuable for our customer. Everything appears to the agent in an automated way. That is, I'm guiding the agent response not through a preset of dialogue, but with custom actions. And I'm addressing better the customer needs. Okay, so and this is real time with cognitive services and with OpenAI. It's OpenAI that is making this possible. The interpretation in context, and OpenAI is also a service. Interpretation in context of what customer is saying in real time, and it make me be actionable in real time. Okay, and not only in afterwards as is a common AI scenario. So this is a bit of what is possible to do with AI, not with customer development like we are used to, but that the world is really moving to a pace where the idea is using commoditized AI, so already pre-made services, because this really, at least as an accelerator, speeds up the value that you can bring, and we can test it, see it if it works on our context. It has more data, not forgetting that there are a set of use cases that each one of our companies don't have a representative set of data to work, and this kind of services already leverage a big set of data that they were trained for. Responsible AI, again, it's not enough to clarify that this will be a concern in, at least in regulated industries, the way how we're doing AI. When we are using this, we are leveraging a third party that is certified to do this kind of process in an ethical and regulated way. So I hope that you have liked, and thank you very much. If you want to know more, please call us. Thank you very much.